Thank you so much for sharing your evening with me. I was a few minutes behind 8, like 8:03, because I went to get some fresh water. That's right, Reverend Bozeman. I had to go save my life. I know y'all forgive me for that. Doing the right thing. Doing the right thing. Let me get my headphones on too. Got my water. Now I got my sound system right. That must have been blasting. Because I had these down there with the, with the speaker. Who's your favorite DJ? JB. How you doing, Miss Daniels? How you doing, Carrie? Look, we got the ladies out this evening. It's a good thing. We're talking about intellectual stuff, y'all. I don't know. I need some feedback on if it's supposed to be outside or not. I don't know. Some people say it's not real. I don't know. We should ask Reverend Bozeman because he's all the way up there in New York. If he can breathe, thank God he's smiling. He must be able to breathe. He's not acting like anything special's going on.
No, it's hard to breathe.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and you can smell the burning wood.
Can you see Russia? I'm being sarcastic. I'm sorry. You know what Sarah Palin said?
I can see Russia
Exactly.
from.
You can see Canada. You can smell Canada.
Sure can.
Oh my goodness. I know. They joking on her. That lady's like, I could see Russia. I believed her. Joking on people. I believe you, Reverend Bozeman. They say it's all the way down here. It's a cloudy day, but I saw a picture of that, like one of the bridges in New York that connects like New York and New Jersey.
Yeah.
And you really can tell.
Well.
And you're way above that. So, oh my.
Yeah, I'm across the river from Toronto.
Oh wow. Didn't know that Buffalo was that close.
Yeah.
Wow. How you doing, Mr. Newell? It's good evening. It's so good to see you. I appreciate y'all. I was like, I have trademarks, and I thought it is appropriate for, me to, and when we're discussing the knowledge, the second principle of AfroEconomics, that I continue to expand on asset classes. I think we don't really think about, and I know Dr. Williams is out there too, but he can't get his camera to come on, and I know that he will want to share. But we don't think about assets. Like we always think of like assets of like, our savings account, stocks, and, these regular assets. But I want us to start thinking about more of what we do and what we create as assets. A big part of Afroeconomics is about expansion, and being forward thinking, because we're just developing ourselves. And as we become more confident, I think we become more curious, and then we're more likely to create things that are assets. And I think that in a time of artificial intelligence and computers and all of that, there's nothing more fitting for us to talk about is things that we don't know. And whenever I pick a topic and we know about it or think we know about it, it's amazing. The participation, and not like, y'all, I thank God for y'all, have my back. But the participation in, in the cyber world, it's like, we have to take a point, and I appreciate those of you who are taking the time to learn and explore this with me. Because you know how people say if you know better, you do better?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's really true. Sometimes we just know better and we still don't do better. And I don't want that to be in Afroeconomics. I want us to
Well,
know.
know better. When you know better, you have greater potential,
Mm,
but potential doesn't work unless you apply it.
amen. Can't pay no bills or what you want to do or could do, would do if you could.
Yeah.
Hear people like, I would do that if I could, and they won't show up. People were talking about like people don't, want to work, but we really shouldn't have to work. We really should have to live and enjoy what we do to live. Like, and then, but we call it work. So then it gets this negative connotation on it. But, I don't know where I first heard it, but it's not copyrighted. But when people say like, "Oh, you work all the time," I go, "No, I only work on days that I eat." Simple as that. If I don't eat, I can take the day off. But I promise you, I'm only gonna work on the day that I eat. Or
Is that what they mean by starving artists?
right, right. That I don't know what that's a whole different bad situation. That's a person who has a talent but hasn't taken the time to do some work that pays. Like when I was in college, I quickly realized that even though I loved radio and doing radio shows, they didn't pay. But if I said, "Oh, I'm an accounting major," I got a job that paid immediately. And that's something. They were like, I was making that money, so I would do what I love at night, and during the workday, I was working that major and making
Mm-hmm.
making that money, and so that I wouldn't be a starving DJ, starving artist. Like and there's a lot of artists that figured that out. That is like you can love two things. I love I love eating and making money too.
Amen.
I love that too. So if you do, then you do something, find something that you enjoy and that you can share. But
Well, so
I
much of being a non-starving artist is luck.
hey man,
You
if
have
you
to have
could
luck at
just
being.
focus, yeah, if you could just focus on your art,
Yeah,
how blessed they are.
exactly.
I saw, and I mean, like if I could just be an athlete all day, that would be perfect world for me. I just be like, yeah. Even at this age, because I guess I didn't get to do it when I was a kid, so I'd just be like, la la la, you know. But what a lifestyle adjustment it would be if I just decided I was just, you know what I mean, gonna do that. I'd be trying to get an agent. Agent would be like, whoa, what? I'm like, I don't know, but I need an agent. And I'm gonna be really good at this. The two, the camera two and mic two, Dr. Williams says, are not being recognized. Um, yeah, because we don't even know what camera two and mic two is. We can't see that. Can y'all see that? I can't see a camera two and mic two.
Maybe they're referring to their PC.
Oh,
Maybe they just should restart this again,
oh yeah.
close out
Who else
and
up
and
that?
restart it.
Oh, the ones that yeah. So when you go back, yeah, come back in, and though it should ask you which camera you want to use and choose it. Then that's funny. It's seeing the other ones as an imposter. Mm.
Well,
That was funny. I'm so glad that see. That's why we need each other because I didn't know. I thought he was
maybe
talking. I was so for sure he was talking about Restream. Something for me. He's like, I am not talking to you, JB. I'm just telling you what Restream is doing. And he said
Yeah,
that. But I
yeah,
still thought that I should understand mic 2 and camera 2
yeah. Maybe he needs to make sure they're turned on.
before, right? Before
Yeah,
y'all
turn them
say.
on and then start it.
What do y'all think about drinking sitting water? That's I tell
You
you
mean
that's
outside?
like this was sitting here since the last time y'all saw me show this. Like that was like last week.
Oh,
So
Well, do you
this
see anything floating in it?
yeah, it's little, that's why I didn't cuz I'm telling you this lady told me her mother got really sick for drinking sitting water.
well, you know,
So,
cats won't drink sitting water.
what they're smart. Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
even going to show you this jar. Oh, I got a science experiment on this jar. Like if if you saw the other jar sitting here, you would be like, you would never drink sitting water again. And I don't put anything in my water. That's why I was telling Mr. Jones. Remember I told him like I don't put lemons in my water, like unless I'm gonna drink it right then.
Yeah.
Cause oh my, I was do not drink sitting
Yeah.
water. I'm just
Chemical reactions.
don't play, y'all. Don't drink the sitting water. Because,
Well, there's so much dust in the air.
yeah, that's what I see in the other one that's not as old. Look, I'm going to do 7-day old water, 3-day old water. And then people sit water in the bottle, like you go like this, and then put the cap on, sit the bottle around. That's nasty too. Because every time you drink, you put some saliva back into the
Right.
water bottle.
Right.
That's bacteria. Don't play.
Yeah, you contaminate it.
I mean, that is the kind of stuff that takes people out and they don't know why they died, why they got sick, this and that. I'm telling you. Don't do it. I recommend every now and then do like some oregano, take like a natural antibiotic type thing. So I'll do like oregano with the coconut oil every now and then. I used to do it every day. Now I don't have to do it every day. But when I really felt like my gut was acting up, or like when my shoulder used to hurt and I felt that it was gut connected, I did that and my shoulder now does not hurt. Somebody would have had to get surgery on their shoulder, and it wasn't even a shoulder issue, it was a gut issue. Because especially on your right side, because you got your gallbladder on this right side, it boomerangs up, hits the shoulder. Don't play. Don't say I didn't warn y'all.
Okay.
So
Appreciate that.
I should trademark that. I should trademark that. Let me think through it. I don't think it would be a trademark. It would be
Right. You have to sell it.
it
You
would be
meaning
a
it has
trade
to be
secret.
commercial.
Yeah, I'd have to provide it to somebody. It would be a trade secret. But then it wouldn't be accepted as a legitimate trade secret because I just shared it publicly. Unless I destroy this. Because for something to be a trade secret and recognized by the government to have the trade secret protection, they have a criteria, one of which is you have to have made effort to not share it with the public. So I just sacrificed all that for y'all. And don't y'all better not try to. So but Mr. Jefferson could come out with gut cleanse, Jefferson gut cleanse, and then it could be his trade secret. And because I didn't have it as my trade secret, he would get it. But because you've never shared it publicly, you took it from me. But I shared it publicly so you could make it private,
You
and
know
they
the
would never know that you took it from me because they don't know your formula because you have a trade secret.
the commanders are going through that now, trying to get that name.
You mean that?
Wow. You
Yeah,
know how many people must
they
have
can't
that
get it.
name?
No, but they
Exactly.
can't. There's a guy that's got it. He said he'll give it to him because it's a football game. It's called the Commanders Classic. I think when Navy played, but they They've had it for a year and they're just now trying to trademark it, but they can't.
Yeah, because you can use it and, they trademark it like locally, but not in the whole US. You know what I'm saying? Because,
No, but there's a guy here in the DC area he's got two different forms of it, but he said he would give them one of them if they want it.
For a
but
price.
he has the trademark, like he's saying he owns it already.
Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah.
didn't say a price. He said he would just work out something with them if they wanted it.
Well, that means a price.
Hidden price.
I'm like thinking, does a man like crazy or something? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is wrong with him? I'll give it to him. Like,
Yeah, they getting ready to sell
does
the
he know
team for
what
6
give
billion.
means? He don't know what give means. He don't
They get
know.
ready to sell the
He
team for 6 billion here in a
those
little
one
while.
6 billion, right?
Yeah.
Right? But that's like that was a kind of stupid name. There and as many lawyers as they have, I mean, not stupid name, but stupid name as far as like thinking you were going to get to trademark it. Because the key for trademarking is that it should be something like AfroEconomics, Nike, something. You know what I mean?
But I would have
Unique.
thought they would have looked into that before they.
Yeah,
Exactly. You got all these
exactly.
staff attorneys that are way bright, know all these guidelines. They had to know.
But they
But
didn't know. They didn't know what name would be acceptable.
but the problem is that they when they went to get the trademark, if it wasn't, if nobody had it associated with NFL football team, but that guy's game might have, you know what I mean, NFL football involved in his game, they'll probably get it, but they're gonna have to really narrow down, like, because you can do that, like narrow down the scope of how they use it, or like put Commanders football or Commanders DC
Well,
football,
it would be Washington Commanders NFL.
football or something, like, yeah, like they have to like make it, unique
Yeah,
and trademarkable.
yeah.
There's a guy that used to sell a natural tea called Honest Tea.
Mm,
He
mm,
sold it to Coca-Cola, right? But they
okay.
decided last year they were going to stop making it. So he want to make it again, but he can't call it Honest Tea. He calls it Just Iced Tea now because I guess
Oh,
Coca-Cola
just
owns
nice.
that name.
Yeah.
Just nice. That's
Yeah,
cute.
because he
Yeah,
could.
he sold that name to them.
Yeah,
But and yeah, and they're like, I've seen that tea though. They said they're gonna stop. And then
they
he,
did last year. Yeah,
but
but
that's a great example.
he makes it. It's the same thing. He just had to call it Just Iced Tea because they own Honest Iced Tea.
How about that guy,
See,
famous
Mr. Newell's
Amos?
question.
Remember that famous Amos?
Oh, years ago. He sold that
Yes.
years ago.
Yeah, he sold that. Yeah,
Yeah. The
But he can't use the name.
no,
yeah, he can't. He sold the name and everything. Like because at that particular time he probably really needed the money, and he was probably hoping that they'd keep a good cookie. Those cookies are horrible now.
Yes, they are.
Good
Yeah.
God.
Once he sold them, they just went downhill.
What's punishment? The kids
Well,
don't
that's
even
because they,
like them.
they went for cheaper materials, cheaper
Exactly.
ingredients.
No, exactly. So did they look no? So they can make them forever. Isn't that something? If he had done that, he would have never had to sell it to them. He's like, I'm trying to. It's supposed to be good. He's like, but that's one thing that we don't get. That like he could have sold the name, but not sell his trade secret. Isn't that something? Like he could have kept his recipe, his trade secret, and sold just the name. But when they came in and they said, they must have said, we want your trade secret. So then that meant, and he probably signed that I'm not going to use that formula. I'm not going to use that recipe.
well,
But,
that's from
I,
the first line, one of the first lines from The Godfather. I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse.
yeah.
but I'm trying to remember now. I think he voluntarily sold everything.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He had to have.
He sold it for something happened with him, and he sold everything. I don't know if it was his health or money or something. There was some issue, and he sold it all.
It's called divorce. I'm just joking. Nah, I don't know
Well,
what it is.
something happened. I
I'm
mean, that was back. That
joking.
was at late '80s, early '90s, in which he
Yeah.
did that.
I've seen him speak to business groups about why he wish he hadn't sold. I'm like, what a keynote. Why we do that? I don't understand why we do that. One time I was in this meeting and the guy, like he's still head of one of our biggest black business organizations. And he was his whole presentation was about how he went out of business. So, and now he gets this big salary from us being members. And I was like, that is so depressing. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's talking about all these business owners about how he failed. Who in the world would do that? Who in the world would do that other than us?
I'm sure others have done it.
I always wonder, I should do research on it. I'm going to find a white business group led by a white guy that went out of business. You know what I'm saying? That failed and brags about it.
Let me think.
There's God, you know what I'm saying? I mean, at least
Well, it serves as a good lesson. I
right?
mean, if he can explain what happened and why it didn't work,
Yeah.
then that would help people who are coming up behind him to not make the same mistakes.
That's what I was searching for, but I still don't think he really got it. I don't think he got it because it didn't come across that way. But like you said, like it could be because I went out of business. This is why I do this. You know what I'm saying? Because that was never the case. It was kind of like just I did that. No, this but you would find that like I don't know. I guess someone that is successful in business would never do that. They wouldn't take that job. Like because it'd be like, why would I take that job? I got a good business to run. So at least he does have business experience. So you're right. I could look at it that way. But we really shouldn't. We really should.
You see that question by Mr. Newell?
No, I just don't care about Mr. Newell. I know you keep trying to help him. Mr. Newell, I'm ignoring you today. You asked me that. I keep ignoring it. It's like, what's wrong with her? Exactly. It said, could I trademark my business logo? Like, you could definitely already take your logo if you were worried about that and put trademark next to it. You know what I mean? And you don't have to register it with the Trademarks Association. But you could, you know what I mean? You certainly could. Like if you felt like there was some threat, you know what I mean, to your competition, like your logo is all of that. Let me see your logo and then I'll tell you if somebody else wants it. Who? Let me see this logo that you think is worth $600 to trademark. I want to see. Then when I see, and look, and that is only if we do it ourselves. But if you have the name, what the logo represents and the name of the business, and you could kind of send it and trademark it all together. Because it would definitely want use of it, use of the logo, use of the name, and but you could, and how the logo is used. But the thing about the trademarking is that you could have to get several different trademarks, to protect that particular logo. If you're going to use it for different items, you would have to protect the logo trademark for printing, then you would have to protect the business logo. If you were afraid that someone was going to come and try to take it, the logo, and you were going to use it as a big part of your marketing is that logo, and you want to do that, then the trademark office is going to want you to do different $600 trademark protection so that you have the right to use it and basically can monopolize this and it is yours for this period of time. They're going to want you to pay for each different type of use of it.
What's up with the thing with Taco Tuesday and Taco Bell? Trying to use that or not use that. What's up with that?
I saw the LeBron commercial.
Yeah.
I know. I don't. What is that about? I
I
don't
thought
like tacos.
Taco Bell said that some time ago.
And I don't like tacos. Never have. So I don't look. So I think you probably like tacos. So they can have Taco Tuesday. I'll never try to take it. But
I don't think.
I don't think they can really try to own that though. If they can't get Washington Commanders easily, you can't get Taco Tuesday. You want to own the whole day of the week?
Oh, it's owned by a chain in Wyoming.
Whoa.
And they're defending themselves against Taco Bell.
It's a taco place that the name of the place is Taco Tuesday.
Oh, well, it's actually Taco John's.
Oh, and they got Taco Tuesday.
But they have trademarked Taco Tuesday.
And they had
in 1989.
Stop. Thank you for that update on the worst food in the world. That is true. In 1989, they let them trademark Taco Tuesday. I think that they're more advanced than that. But if they kept their trademark up to date, because I'm telling you, them trademark people now, they are like, they said, oh, you're not going to have to do anything for 20 years. And I got to do stuff for them all the time. So if they haven't kept up with their Taco Tuesday stuff and thought that, because that's what, 89, 99, 2009, they're into their second, like their trademark renewal period.
Yeah, it's 30 years. It's been 30 years.
No, but I know Taco Bell's probably like, look, you can have it. Everybody want to sue everybody. But what is the difference between, I'm just going to do, we were just talking about trademarks, so I'm just going to talk about a trademark can be a word, a phrase, a symbol, a design, a combination of that word and that symbol and design. It can be a combination of those things that identifies your good or service. It's how customers recognize the business in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. So it says that trademark is used generically, but there are actually service marks and trademark. And trademark is used for goods and service mark is used for services.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering about Mr. Newell. His is a service, right?
Yeah, but nobody knows what a SM is. I wouldn't put that on my stuff. You can use either one. But, yeah, because you're thinking about, but he could, I guess, if he just starts out, but he's still, everybody be like, what's him? What's SM?
Yeah.
They need to do some marketing on that if they really want us to use that. And
I remember when I was writing for Coca-Cola, whenever we did an ad, it would be the Coca-Cola, the Coca-Cola Company, Coke, and something else, a registered trademark. So you had to list them all.
They put them all down there. Exactly. They were really thinking somebody wanted their stuff. But they would have. And and I'm gonna go back. We're just gonna look at. So identifying the source of your goods or services, that's where the benefits are of having the trademark. Provides legal protection for your brand, and it guards against counterfeiting or fraud. But you have to actually have somebody out there always looking,
Yep, you
you
do.
know?
Hmm.
I'm sure Coca-Cola, right, has somebody out there looking. But that company with Taco Tuesday, they didn't have to look far. When a company bigger than you starts using it, and and then that happens a lot. That happens a lot, and then that becomes a challenge because they don't have the victim in that case doesn't have as much money to protect themselves. I mean, they coming up with something though. But if
Hey,
you
JB,
got
one,
something like Taco Bell that's done something wrong and likes something that you own, that might be worth hiring a lawyer.
JB, can you hear me now?
It's a little better. I didn't hear you at first. It's
Oh,
got like
okay.
a fog to it. Yeah, but
Maybe it's that smoke from Canada.
I
Uh,
know. But thank you. I'm so glad you got back in. Thank you.
yeah, I am too. So interesting conversation. I do know of an example where a larger company actually tried to take over the market for a smaller company. It was in a totally different business. So when Sun
Wow.
Microsystems was around,
Wow.
um, and this new company out in Colorado that sells electronic parts, not even associated with Sun Microsystems. Their name was SparkFun Electronics.
Wow.
And because Sun had their computer called the Spark Station,
Whoa.
they sued SparkFun to cease and desist using SparkFun's logo and name.
Wow.
Sun Microsystems lost the suit, and then Sun was bought by Oracle, so they went out of business instead. So the big company got gobbled up by a bigger company.
Wow.
Yeah,
But they lost that suit when they went after the other company that was using the Spark. Isn't that
they
something?
did because they didn't have any. I guess the lawyers call it standing because the smaller company was not in the same line of business, and
Oh,
their logo looked nothing like Sun Microsystems logo.
wow. Good for
Yeah.
them. Yeah. So, but it's sad that that small company had to spend that money to protect themselves.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Interesting story. I hope that you all could hear, but it was in reference to a bigger company, um, thinking that the smaller company was using a name too close to their product name, and they went after them. But eventually, the big company lost, and they went out of business. The big company. So we definitely, even as a small company, that small company wouldn't have won if they hadn't done at least the part that they could do.
That's
To
right. And now that small company is huge.
really,
Yeah,
that's so good. That's so
they are
good.
really huge now. Yep.
That's so good. Yeah, you gotta, do as much as we can. Like, when I started, writing and having the brand and things. And I was like, well, how do I do this as most cost effectively as I can? And the thing was to just call and ask questions. That the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, has people that work there every day. And of course, in a perfect world, if all of us could just hire lawyers to do all of that, it'd be great. But they actually have forms with instructions. You know what I'm saying? It is designed just like a tax return. It is designed for citizens to be able to do it. But so if you can't do it, if you don't want to hire the person, and I remember when there was an attorney I was thinking about hiring, and then I told her I'm just gonna go ahead and do it myself because the questionnaire that she needed the answers to was the same thing as what they were asking me to answer. So I was like, I might as well follow myself if I take the time to do her questionnaire. Y'all feel
Yeah.
me on this? So, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was like, do you do this? Do you do this? Do you do that? I was like, by the time I do that, and then, I can save at least $1,000 because I was going to have to do that. She couldn't answer those questions. Like a lot of these companies who really have a lot of stuff, like Microsoft has a lot of copyright material. Most of his money is from him having smart copyright protection of all the software programs that he has. Bill Gates will probably admit that the US copyright laws are the key to my success, and then him using it. So he has a staff of people, I'm sure, of lawyers in-house that are just making sure that nobody is, doing anything to their Microsoft brand, their software. He has everything. He's got a lot of stuff to protect.
Yeah.
And it's going to be even more of that, because like every time this is the way that I want to structure the future. Well, let's just say, because if I share exactly something specific, then it could be used against me, and it would no longer be a trade secret. So I can't, like, you know what I mean? I have to, and this is literally true. If you want to say that something is a trade secret and how you do your business, then I cannot share it with you, because then it's not a secret. But
Right.
I'm going to tell you that it is very important as a business owner, if you have like something that you created, something that you own, something that is your intellectual property, you want to get that patent on that. You want to get the trademark on that. You want to copyright that.
So JB, I have to differ with just a bit of that. So I think like Coca-Cola, for instance, they maintain a trade secret on their formula for Coca-Cola products, because with the patent law, once you patent it, you got protection for up to 20 years. After that, anybody can use it. That's where like those generic drugs come from, right? So the original manufacturer gets to use it for 20 years, competition free, and then basically you disclose everything in the patent application, so anybody can replicate it at that point with no risk of being sued.
So which part of what I said did you disagree with?
That you want to get everything patented. Right?
No, I didn't say that. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I didn't mean to say that. I was saying that you need to utilize those protections as much as possible.
Okay.
So
My mistake.
if you did have a problem with, I don't want to disclose, as you're saying, this trade secret, that's what I was talking about. Like, I don't want to disclose the trade secret. Like with my brain is my trade secret here, how I established that particular portfolio, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to disclose that. You know what I mean? My formula to my AfroEconomics growth portfolio.
Yeah.
Just like their particular Coke Zero. So that's not my patent, like you said. That would be my trade secret.
Yeah.
And they didn't go in the commercial and say, our Coke Zero has blah, 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 like, or even share it in a staff meeting. Like that particular, it has to be seriously important to you. Yeah, seriously important to you. But then the patent does come into play. Like I was saying the other day, that every time somebody comes up on Shark Tank, they go, have you patent? Are you you know what I mean? Do you have the patent on that? Do you have a patent on that? So they probably have that challenge, especially even when you do invent something and you go on something like that. I always think about what risk they're in, because there are definitely people listening. And when there's a company with deeper pockets, they can take your, idea just like that. And it's on Shark Tank.
And the Patent and Trademark Office now, so they urge you to get international patents. So it's not good enough to get protections here in the U.S.
Right.
So and what used to be a very cheap way to protect your idea is really expensive, because you have to protect it all over the world now.
Yeah. It's especially if someone is inventing something that's going to be of use overseas. Like
Mhm.
if you created some new irrigation system and you know that this is going to help people that live in South Korea, North Korea, like like you're going to have to get the patent and trade secret, whatever you deem after studying which one do I need to get here,
Mhm.
that's going to give me the most and longest protection, like Dr. Williams is saying. Like, then and you'll probably have a combination of all of them, especially in technology. We're going to, end up everybody being a technology business when it's all over to a great extent. And so, how that technology supports your business could become a trade secret on how you do it, or how you decide on even your corporate structure could be a trade secret. Because,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, you could become a really well known, like IBM back in the day was known for just its great management and how they structured their business and promote their, as far as like their corporate ladder and how it was done. And this, you know I think they can make a trade secrets so that people, when they hire them, they have to sign off on that stuff too, that you will not disclose this information.
Right, NDAs.
Yeah, you had a lot of that, I'm sure, in marketing and advertising, didn't y'all? Like when they would hire your company to
Yeah,
do
what
it.
what we couldn't talk to people about their ideas
Mm-hmm.
uh, because ours was an idea business.
Mm-hmm.
So if we happened to be
Mm.
running along the same pathway as they were, then we
Mm.
would be liable, or we would be at risk of them suing us for stealing their idea when actually we already had it.
That's
So
right.
so when people wanted to talk
Oh,
about their ideas, we had to send them to the attorneys
right.
and not talk to them at all.
And Mr. Newell, like, it's good to know that it says you own a trademark as soon as you start using it. So, like, it's known as common law trademarks.
Yeah,
So, but that only applies to, like, say your city or your county where you provide that good or service. And then if you want to open up all, if your goal is to open up everywhere, then that's where the USPTO, the US Patent and Trademark Office, and registering with them really gets into play for that broader protection. And then Dr. Williams was talking about, then you may have to go to other countries and see how to trademark it there, because my last discussion with the trademark office here was saying that they're like auditing all of the trademark holders in the US for documents for all the things that you say that you do, and they want to make sure you actually do and use the trademark for the things that you checked off. And that they said that people from and computers from other countries, but it's really people, have come in and grabbed up US trademarks and picked all these things that they were doing, but they're not really legitimate businesses. So because of the, how things will go, and they'll go, we want to make sure you're not a robot, and you click, I'm not a robot.
right.
Well, those robots got into the US trademark and patent office and started, doing all of these things, and now they have to like clean it out. And
Yeah,
so
that's
they're coming to take advantage of patents and trademarks in our country because they want to sell their products over here and we not duplicate it. But we have to start legitimately doing the same over there. Especially if we're doing business over there.
yeah. Well, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office will actually file a international patent for you, so you can get that service all at one stop. But it just costs you more now.
And it'll go for everywhere across the world.
yeah. So you can register it only in the U.S.
Wow.
You can make that choice, but if you do international, there's additional fees associated with it, and they have to do a patent search, and the the patent agents at the Patent and Trademark Office, their goal is to narrow down your claims as narrow as they can make them, so other people can make patents in close proximity to your idea, right? So their goal is to narrow. Your goal is to make it as wide as possible because you want to own the whole space in the area that you're patenting your idea.
Exactly. But that lady that I spoke to, and she was talking about all those international stuff. I was,
Hmm.
she did not even mention that they'll take care of that for you. That's
Yeah, it's on their
sad.
website.
That's
Yeah,
pretty sad.
yeah.
No, but in the conversation, and we were talking about international stuff. But I tell you, people just won't give up information unless you ask them.
Right. You
Yeah,
gotta ask the direct.
that's
You
that's
You
have
know
to
what
true.
I'm
write
saying?
the ask the
Isn't
right
it
question.
sad? Like you have to know exactly what to ask. Like because like the way I interpret it is that she was telling me that those people were coming over here and doing it. So I figured I would have to go, me to China and do it to them.
Oh no,
But
no,
but
they'll do it right here.
yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah. Well, and it might not be the people doing it. It could be different governments doing it to the U.S.
Hmm.
Office. You know what I mean? It could work the same way that, and it's the government because that's the way. If they do it for me, I would be presented. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Globally, yeah. So but that's very good for all of us to know that they can do it. Like, and then that might be something that they added. Like that's why I was saying that guy from a 1989 patent. Imagine how much stuff he doesn't know. Like the last 2 years, I mean, he had a 1989 trademark. You know what I mean on Taco Tuesdays. Like unless they really on it, you know what I mean. And then even because even the trademark late the intellectual property attorney that I hired, I had to fire her because she was not on it at all, and I felt at risk putting my material at her mercy.
Right.
And I was like, you can just send me my money back or keep the money, but I'm
Yeah,
not putting my career in your hands. And she ended up sending me the money back, but I
my
really
son
didn't
ended up
care. Hmm?
my son ended up firing an IP attorney as well because they didn't
Yes.
cover they weren't as active as they should have been.
No, they will let you be jacked up. And somewhere in the stuff and they want to, and what makes it really bad is they want to take over. They want to take over as the representative. So then they're taking over as the representative. Then you're not getting the email anymore. You're not checking on your stuff anymore. Like they're getting all the interaction. And then when stuff goes wrong, it's kind of like when you let somebody else do your taxes. And then when stuff goes wrong, they go, "Oh, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this
Yeah,
this is what happened."
But I can tell you though that you made a point earlier, JD, about you can do the patent filing yourself. So I've done this before, and it's an
Fantastic.
interesting process, right? You can fill out the application because I went through a process with a lawyer one time, and that was kind of interesting. And then I said I'm going to do this myself.
Yep.
Whenever you make a mistake, the patent agent, they will actually send the information back to you in red line. Hey, this is
yeah,
too broad of a
Right.
word. They won't tell you what word to use, but they'll say this is too broad, and you have to change the wording here or whatever,
Right.
and change and show something in your images, and be very specific about the claims. You can't have multiple claims
Thank
in one
you.
sentence. Every
Thank.
claim has to be separate lines,
There you go.
and they'll go back and forth with you for as long as you want, right? Before
That's
they
so
before you,
true. That's
yeah.
that's right. I mean, I was shocked at it too. But I'm telling you, if you had used the attorney, the same thing would have happened because they would have said, "Well, Dr.
Yep.
Williams, what do you want us to say here?" And you
Yep.
would have told them what to say here, and they would have said, "It's too broad, Dr. Williams. We're
Yep.
gonna have to restructure." They are not going to because generally, and if it's a big firm,
Hmm.
they're going to put it with a paralegal that's talking to you. And that's just horrible, horrible, horrible,
Yep.
horrible. But
But they're
most
going to
people,
bill you at the same rate.
yes, because they're gonna review it when we
Yeah.
finish.
So there's a trick you can play to save yourself a lot of money. So the Patent and Trademark Office has something called a provisional patent, and so that's basically it timestamps your idea, and it gives you a year before before it's
Mm,
either abandoned or you move it to a real patent status. So it protects your idea by dating dating it.
fantastic.
And at the time I did my last one, it was $100 per provisional patent.
I love it. Like
So,
you can
so
say, I'm working on an air filter system, blah blah blah, and,
right,
and as long as you have the graphics, whatever, ready, you know what I mean. You pay them for the provisional,
yeah.
and you're good. But
And they don't review the provisionals. There's just a
oh,
placeholder. It's
it's just
registered
you're
in the
just
system. You
there.
can go and pull it and
Yeah.
look it up and all that kind of stuff. But after that year is up, you have to either make a move or abandon it.
But like somebody could really make a better product during that time, though. Tell the truth.
That's true. You're always at risk of that. But for the idea that you file is protected, it's date and timestamp.
Yeah. Back to that
Yeah.
date. So if they did it after that, you can say no. I already had that. Yeah.
Right,
That's
and then when
okay.
if you decide to file a full patent, the full patent gets registered with the date of the provisional patent, the
I
start date.
love it.
Yeah,
I had this. We have a member, and she created something, and she hired this company, and they did her drawing of the what she created incorrectly.
hmm.
And I said, this has got to be corrected. So she told them, this has got to be corrected because it's an important part. It's one of the key features of what
Yeah,
she developed. And they won't make the new picture.
hmm.
They said, well, it's supposed to have that on there. It's in the description, but it's not in the picture. And a picture is worth 1,000 words.
That's right.
But that could work to her advantage too, because if somebody tries to replicate it, they'll always get it wrong.
Oh, because it's public information.
Right.
So as long as she has it in her description, that's a good point. But then they could say, no, ours has so and so and yours does, you know what I mean? And then that could
Right.
be it. Yes, it does. Ours has, what I mean, it has that.
I
That's so
thought that
true.
somebody they had said that whoever came up with the World Wide Web, if they had um what is it, trademark that or whatever, they would have been the richest person in the world because every time somebody went use that phrase or something like that.
I don't know though. How do you get paid for every
Well,
time
Mark
somebody
Andreessen
use
is
anything,
credited
Yeah.
with creating the World Wide Web, uh,
Yeah.
and he's a billionaire.
Who?
Um, Mark Andreessen.
But I like he probably, you know what I mean? But he unless you sell it, unless you sell something, like he sells his asset to Microsoft, he sold, he sells the patent to Google or something.
Yeah, he was working
He,
at a research institute at the time, and so you're absolutely right, sir. So he created something called Mosaic, which was the first browser, and then, if
Right.
you recall, Netscape picked up Mosaic and became Netscape, and then Microsoft came along with their Explorer, and then Google came out, right, with Chrome and all the other ones.
but where does his money came from selling it to Netscape, I guess, or
No,
either
no,
Microsoft.
when they released it, he just put it out there. I think he made money, subsequently after that,
Oh,
but yeah, he was at a research institute. I can't remember if it was a French
oh,
research.
you're saying he was working, so you
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
really do that, like, because they were paying him to do it.
yeah. I don't know the full story, but
Yeah.
he said he didn't monetize it when it first came out. So,
Okay.
but yeah, he is a billionaire now because everybody sort of went to him to get
Right.
all the.
That's what they were saying. If he
Yeah,
could have monetized it, he would have been.
He should have monetized
yeah,
exactly. If he was as smart as Bill Gates, because that's how Bill Gates, you know what I mean, is Bill Gates. I'm sure Bill Gates is richer than him, you know what I mean, because he definitely hasn't had to work as hard. Because like started using intellectual property rights immediately. And if this guy had, but when you're working for someone, you can't do that. Like we have a member that, created like basically the vape for Philip Morris. But he can't get rights to it. They called it electronic cigarette back then. But that's the you know what I mean? Those things. And but he can't get, because he was working there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's that happens a lot.
I bet you they've trademarked the phrase vape though. I know somebody's got to own that. I guarantee you they got that.
But they only make money with it from doing what? Selling it. Like you said, our system is not set up well where we can charge them like they can get with music. You see how hard they try to do it with music? And I was still playing somebody's music tonight. I noticed they won't click me with copyright if I play it outside of the computer. But y'all heard the music. And it's not mine. So they have to they're not getting, and I don't even know every time they flag you for copyright, all they're doing is just being mean. They're not getting paid, It's like,
well, Dr. King's family started selling the rights to a lot of his stuff.
They really gave, but they had to, I guess. They gave away so much to the government, but the government kind of made it into like a historical, location and stuff like that, to help them out. But yeah, if they had thought from the beginning, oh my goodness, if they're about
just
their
the I Have a Dream
image,
speech, just speech alone would have been enough.
They couldn't even build that thing if they had on his silhouette, we weren't thinking, deeply enough. But that's why I was saying, these type of discussions are so powerful, because we get to, think okay, we always bragging about, oh, that was our idea. Oh, that was our idea. Oh, a black person made this. A black person invented that. We should really feel bad about that. How in the world are we going to celebrate that you invented all of these things and your family is broke?
Yeah.
I told you.
It's a shark world out there.
I'm waiting for the somebody to lawsuit with the Smithsonian, so I can step up, because my great get my check.
Look, they be like, just because y'all built that, y'all should have put y'all name on it or something. You don't have any architect. You don't have any design. Y'all don't have no trade secrets. Your family should have put some trade secrets in a file.
For the labor. Pay me
exactly. This is how we lay bricks.
Yeah, give me the check. Give me it in 2023 money. What y'all would have paid him?
Look, don't you wish? They be like, we're gonna give you lifelong free admission to everybody in the Jenkins family can come to the museum as much as you want.
Well, they want to put our name on a plaque somewhere.
Yeah, and then all that'll do is make them look good. When my daughter was born, I got her website. It was probably before she was born. I was like, her name, you're gonna have a website. All these websites that I was like, well, I'm gonna own that. I'm gonna own her name. I'm gonna own and I'll give it to her when she gets older, But then when she was in school, her friends used to go crazy, because she would go, do my name and it'll go to my YouTube channel. And sure enough, it's like, boom, I'll set it up so it forwards to her YouTube channel. I was like, that's hot. She was like, Mom, they go crazy. I go like, yep. It's the bomb. I was like, especially when I figured out that you could do forwarding. So she was in elementary school doing that thing. Now she's not as fascinated with that. They're on to something else. Her YouTube channel was hot before mine was. I was like, how you gonna have more subscribers than me? She was like, you're not mad? I was laughing. I was almost crying. I was like, this girl's got a YouTube channel with thousands of subscribers.
Wow.
I was
You know,
crawling.
when it comes to music, there's two people who are paying attention. ASCAP, which is the American Society of Composers and Producers. But because you're not big enough, they're not going to come after you.
Mm.
You know, they charge radio stations 1.7% of their revenue in order for them to play all that music. But the other one is YouTube. YouTube has their computer checks all your music to make sure that you're not dealing with copyrights.
Yeah,
But
and they don't do me when I play it inside, but they'll do it when I'm outside. But because if I don't monetize my
right,
channel.
That's the difference is you don't monetize.
Yeah.
Because my theme song for Arrives is out of Russia, and so they informed me that my shows cannot be shown in Russia because of copyright violations.
Dang! Look at the audience that you're missing. I'm sure they all understand your English.
Right.
This is not fair. I'm going to talk to Putin about that. Do you understand what they're holding back from you? And it's some good music.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Right?
Very powerful music.
Right? They might like it. They're a trip. Good
but
for
I didn't
you
think
for
it
not
would be a
backing
problem
down.
because the music was written in 1750, but it's because of the music is being played by a Russian orchestra.
Wow. I would have never thought. That's funny. I would have never thought. But and then you found it online, and then they said it was in the U.S. was fine. That's interesting. But if it's like I actually went to a studio, paid for duty free, like or whatever it's called, music.
Oh, stock music.
Yes, just stock music. And then uploaded it, and they said this music is copyright blah 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 something, and they charged me for it, and I was like, because I had to pay them for the stock music. It was like $150, $200, and I told them, and they were like, well, what did you use it for? I said, well, I loaded it on my YouTube channel. They said, no, you said you were going to run it on the radio, and I'm like, I did both, like. But I don't know. Like, why would that make a difference? You know what I mean? It seemed like radio would have had a harder time with it than YouTube. But the radio station didn't say anything about it.
Interesting.
So, yeah, but the Petita, instead of saying, oh, we're sorry about that, we'll give you your money back, they blamed it on me. You didn't say that. You said you were just going to, I'm like, oh, okay. My bad.
I got burned once for having on a radio commercial, I had people singing Happy Birthday. And they came after us.
Because I heard about you can't, because that song is...
Yeah, it's the arrangement.
Yeah.
They came after us for the arrangement, and I had to come up with $400.
The basic Happy Birthday?
Yeah, Happy Birthday to you.
Stop.
Yeah. Yep.
Not even the black one? Y'all weren't even doing the Stevie Wonder.
And no, that's a totally different. That one's even more expensive.
I bet, right? It better be. Wouldn't it be funny if you were like Stevie Wonder? Oh, the Stevie Wonder one is only $100 because y'all can't sing it right. The simple one, that's $400. Because everybody can sing that one. That's really what they should do. It's like everybody sounds. That is, but in reality, yeah, like you never know. But wow.
Yeah, and I think the Boy Scout song is also you can't sing it, and it's copyrighted.
I didn't even know they had a song.
Yeah,
Mm,
I think it's the
yeah.
Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts, one of those
That's cool.
scouts,
That's
but
yeah.
it's locked up.
And that, I mean, and it's going to be more and more of that. Like, we might as well get comfortable where we're going to be getting blings and ting and everything because these computers are so intelligent now, the
Yeah,
artificial intelligence, so they're going to keep up with everything. You're going to be in the middle of a conversation, they're going to be like, ding, Mr. Jefferson, there's copyright on that. You got that from Barry White. Ding, ding, Mr. Jenkins, stop trying to act like you made that up. Stop lying to your wife. That was from Al Jarreau's song 1975. That is not your original line.
Oh, but no, did you see? Ed Sheeran just went to court and he won because they said he was trying to copy Marvin Gaye's.
all right.
That was so crazy because that song is definitely Marvin Gaye's song.
Nah, he won.
I was sick. That is sick that boy got away with that. I was like, now he knows that was Marvin Gaye's song.
You remember when Pharrell, what was it, Blurred Lines?
Yeah, yeah. Now that one I didn't think was similar as the one that this guy. His even has like the name, like it's he's even like used it in skits and stuff. Like he knows what he did. And then he was all sanctimonious, like coming out of court, this is the right of protecting the rights of art. Sit down and shut up. That is Marvin Gaye's song. You just need to get out. That is crazy. That is crazy. And it wasn't Marvin Gaye's family. That was the writer of the song.
Right.
His family is still alive. That is, they know, I'm glad that they had somebody on that. I would appeal.
Too much money.
I know.
But the good thing now, the athletes get paid. They even get paid in high school now for wearing
Yeah,
their jersey.
NIL.
Oh yeah, they get paid in high school now. It's a young guy down south as a quarterback. He's already getting paid before he goes to college.
Like a job, like a salary.
No, for wearing that jersey. They getting paid for that now.
Oh.
Yeah, he's in high school. They get paid.
For just publicizing Nike or whatever.
No, because they making money selling the jersey that you wear playing the sport.
Oh.
So somebody went to court and you get a cut now, even high school athletes, if they're good enough.
So they've been selling high school jerseys?
No, they get paid for that.
But they were selling high school jerseys of high school athletes. I didn't know that.
I don't know about high school, but I know the ones in high school get paid now.
But I don't understand what they'd be paying them for, though.
Promote the athlete.
Promote the athlete.
Yeah.
But
name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
Because
well, what would they use them for?
Well, see, when it started in college, the ones did it because they would make the video games with them.
That makes sense.
And they weren't getting anything.
That's right.
But it's come down to high school now because what they do now, they get businesses to pay them, to sponsor them, and they get a cut.
But that's like so illegit. That is
no, it ain't. They're getting paid.
They're trying to own them guys,
Yeah,
they're
getting
trying
paid.
to own them. But it's not time yet. You know what I'm saying? It's not time. And they're at the mercy of a greedy parent at this point.
There's a guy that's got like 2 8-year-old sons, and he's already trying to market them in basketball. Already.
I mean, I get that as long as the dad knows what he's doing and they're doing something like, promoting a particular, but not as an underhanded way to control, their decisions.
Well, that's the thing with the Ball, their father, Lonzo Ball's father was.
Yeah.
That's what they say he was doing.
Yeah, but he was making his own products, you know what I mean, and everything, like trying to protect them from what is happening now. Now they want to push the parents out the way and the business, basically own it so that the child thinks, my money comes from them.
If Jalen Rose told the story when he was going to Michigan playing basketball, he would see that jersey in the window and he would have to go up to a reporter to get $10 so he could buy a pizza, and he's like, I'm making millions for the university.
And they would have his jersey up there, like
Oh yeah, yeah, they
Rose.
be selling them,
Mhm.
making a
Oh,
killing.
that's sick.
The
That's sick.
college has been doing that for years.
That's sick. See, that's sick. That's
And the
on a
coaches
different
get paid
level.
millions
Like,
and millions
yeah,
of dollars. Yeah,
it shouldn't. That's economics. That's just sick. But you're supposed to be, getting tuition. They get really good food. They do get taken care of. Like, but they do need to have money in their pocket so that they're not, worrying about trying to make bets on the game and no, the things that a person from poverty has to worry about. That is sick. But it seemed like they that should have always been happening because it's not like they can have a job when you're Division 1. They're practicing every day. Then they got to go to class. It's crazy. They have to have some. They should have always had some sort of living, a basic standard of living that they were getting paid like anybody else with a job.
but they got it now.
Mm. But look, but the way they have it now, maybe only the stars will get it. What about the guys who don't get no jersey sold? But they still got to be there, or those guys are no good because they got to have a second string. You know what I'm saying? So it should be like just across the board. No, and they need to have something to shoot for. Okay, you don't have to play but 1 or 2 years, even football, and go on. You don't have to stay there no 4 years. But when they start doing this kind of stuff, they're going to start trying to control how long they stay at school. Watch. Well, I owe them. Or the school going to say, you owe us. Because, you know what I mean? They're going to try to act like it's a military contract or something. Nothing. Nothing comes to us for free. It's going to be a trip. Like, go straight to high school, from high school to the pros. The high school's trying to get some of that money now. If they trying to pay them, what?
Yeah, LeBron said he saw it because it's coming. Because when he was in high school, they started playing his games at the college, and then they started showing them on ESPN, and he said he could see it
His high school games were played on.
at the college because they did. They knew what he was gonna be.
They know that's wrong.
Hey,
They know that's wrong.
His documentary's coming out.
His documentary's coming out.
yeah, about when
Yeah.
he was in high school on the
Yeah.
team. Yeah,
Exactly. He's the greatest to me, but people give him such a hard time. But that's what happens, and that what happened in Virginia. I guess y'all saw with the graduation.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's not that it's right there at really Virginia Commonwealth University's campus, and unfortunately school is out with where so that really hits home for where I am right now. So but it was just heartbreaking, and my daughter's good friend was interning at that school, and she was at graduation, so it was scary for a while for us, making sure she was all right. And then her mom works there too. It was something else. But to think about a dad and a son, their mother was there, and I think it was 6 black men and one, I think a female was killed as well. 7 people killed, I believe, or shot, and 2 died, or I don't know. But I know that 2 had passed by this morning, who were at the scene, I think, had already died. But to everybody out there that's in Richmond, like myself right now, like, you know, stay prayed up, stay safe. Well,
Well, the question for many of these shootings is, what is the beef?
a lot. I think it, especially since COVID, I think a lot of those, young people weren't given the opportunity to properly adjust, from COVID.
Well, they had a consultant group in DC researched it, and they said almost a lot of it was about a woman with none of the young guys.
Mm,
That's what
really?
it's the root of it is a woman.
Oh.
Yeah,
But did you see that NFL player? He was found not guilty today, and
yeah, I heard
the
that.
girl
Yeah,
and his girlfriend started all of that.
yeah.
She told her brother to come and kill him.
Yeah, he ended up shooting one of the guys as they left. Yeah,
Yeah.
when they
Oh
broke
my
in. Yeah,
goodness. No, they were beating his brother.
yeah.
So he was going out to save his brother. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, this man should not even be in court. If there's anything called self-defense in this world, it's what he did. He went to the door coming in peace, like we can talk through this. I'll put that on our AfroEconomics page because I was really disturbed that him and his whole family had to go through that. But all of that because of the female, and look, and she was married. He didn't even know he was dating a married woman for over a year. And she was mad because he was texting another girl. And I told y'all about my cousin. He was killed, beat to death, because his girlfriend told her family, come and get him. And I have always said, y'all know I have always said that we have a responsibility as women to de-escalate, de-escalate, de-escalate. We have to. But again, this is mental health issues. Who would want someone they love to be killed, beat to death, shot, stomped? What in the world? She has to have a mental health problem. Even after you're not together anymore. Like, that is a mental health issue. But it's true. It's horrible. But yeah, but with the so everybody continue to expand on this because it's amazing how much in patents and trademarks and copyrights that we can do. Like say, I write and I want my book. I have the copyright in it. But the interesting thing about copywriting is it's much easier than the trademarking because copyright protects, let's say, well, what it protects original works of authorship, paintings, photographs can be copyrighted, musical compositions, sound recordings, computer programs, books, blog posts, movies, architectural works and plays. Like they're all, have copyright protection if you put it on there. Copyrights protect expression, and it says copyrights protect expression and never ideas, procedures, methods, systems, processes, concepts, principles, or discoveries. And never ideas. So that's where the trade secret could take over, or even a patent might have to take over. But that's important to remember.
The guy that came up with polio, the vaccine. They asked him why he
Mm.
didn't. Was it the patent it? And he said, "Well, can you patent the sun?" That was his answer. Yeah,
So he was saying that the sun is the major healing source.
I guess he just wanted. He didn't want to. He just wanted people to have it. He didn't even try.
Oh, good for him.
What was his name? Jonas Salk, I think.
But I wonder if they allowed them to patent like the COVID vaccines and stuff. Because I believe if the government, well, I guess they did because
And they make them give that up though, so
I guess
everybody can have it
because
because it was
they just
free.
made them provide it,
Okay.
but they still have it. That's why they've been able to increase the price to whatever they want now. Pfizer, all of them, like, you know, and that's crazy because that was government paid for. You think that's not going to come up? That's got to come up, like during this political campaign. Like, but they would have to get everybody in Congress because who does that? Allows these people to make a certain fixed supply of it. You finance it, the development of it. You allow the CEOs to do insider trading and become multi-millionaires overnight, like, and then, or multi-hundred millionaires, like they were already millionaires. And now they can charge whatever they want. And insurance companies have to pay, so then it means the consumers will have to pay, that the government will have to pay, and then taxpayers will pay for all of that. No, it's crazy. But how about Cornel West is running for president? Maybe he'll get that straight. Did y'all know that?
Yeah, heard it.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard it till today. I guess that means I heard it.
He just announced yesterday.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, it was just, so I'm not that late.
Yeah.
He's going to come on our program. We're going to get him. You would want to be here, sir. Dr. Sir. He was like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So but, and then, you know, trade secrets. So the trade secrets and like exploring that was like kind of, you know, new to me because I'd never really thought about that section, you know, of it. But the trade secrets are to protect your confidential information. And a trade secret is typically something not generally known to the public, like we talked about, where reasonable efforts have been made to keep it confidential and confers some type of economic value to the holder by the information not being known by another person. Then that's your trade secret. But it has to have some value to be hidden. You have to prove that you've taken measures to guard the secrecy. The value of the information to competitors has to be proved as well. And money or effort has to have been spent by the company to develop that information in order for it to have trade secret rights. So the intellectual property and getting the government involved on that level is to basically allow you to monopolize this information, this opportunity for a certain period of time.
I wonder, did the guy with the film of President Kennedy being assassinated, did he like trademark or copyright that or something?
I hope he did. That would be copyright, definitely. No. That the government, though, I can see the government taking that over, though, and saying that this is against national security or something. What you think?
Yeah, but it's been out for ever, you know.
Oh, and then at some point they have to release it, right? Exactly. So
Yeah.
I wonder if you have the copyright before, then they make it government protected, but then when they release it, that's what you're saying. Is his copyright protection back? Yeah.
No, he gave it to the FBI. They paid him, and then they sold it back to him, so he would have the ability to monetize it. And then what happened was the news organizations then started paying him, and people who made movies started paying him.
So he had copyrights then, yeah. So it never was just held by the government. They gave it back to when
They gave it back to me.
Oh, okay. After they caught the guy. Wow. Or went through the whole court
Yeah,
after
but
the
that whole
shooting.
thing is CBS did a special 4 days in November. How that whole thing went, because they were walking Lee Harvey Oswald down the hall, and the guy walks out and shoots him and kills him. 2 days
Yeah.
after he supposedly assassinated the president, and then Jack Ruby, he dies in jail and never told nobody
That
nothing.
was crazy, right?
Yeah.
They better watch it back. So they basically never had a chance to explain to the public what happened. Yeah,
That's
if they
right.
got paid, wow,
Nope.
or what.
Nope.
Yeah, I remember sitting there. I was in the Air Force at the time, so I was sitting there
Wow.
watching it on TV.
I did not know you were a veteran. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I was in the day room watching them take Lee Harvey Oswald out of the to court.
I'm just not sure if Air Force is considered military. I'm just
Huh?
joking. That's
Well,
why.
well, I joined it. I joined the Air Force because I didn't want to go into battle.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
the trouble was, several of my colleagues ended up in Vietnam anyway.
Wow.
And two of them got killed.
You
So,
were next in line. You lucky it ended.
Yeah, well, they gave me the opportunity to go to Vietnam, but I turned it down.
Oh my goodness, the opportunity. Hey, two of your friends just died. Hey, how about that one?
Fortunately, I was on my way out the door. They wanted me to re-up, but I knew if I re-upped, that's where I was
where
going.
I was gonna go. And they like gave you this wonderful opportunity.
Yeah.
For something I know you weren't sure. I know you were like, what are we doing over there anyway?
Exactly.
And end up, that's something else. Happy Veterans Day. I had no idea. Well, that is like one thing in my life. If there's anything I always wish that I was able to do was going to the military. When I tell people that, they're like, what? But that's what I always wanted to do. No, I used to love like ROTC, and they had like those uniforms they wore to school. I loved it. Loved it. I didn't have like an elective. You had to have a space on your schedule that you could do it. And because I did band, I didn't get to do that. My parents weren't about it anyway, but. And then I get to be here with y'all. I bet if I was a general in the Army, I wouldn't be doing finance. I'd be in infantry.
Okay.
Angie doesn't want to go, but I want to go. Send me over there. It'd be like, sit down, girl. It'd be funny though if all the women are like, I want to go. And they're like, sit down. And then now I don't know, we probably can go now. And the women are like, no, I'm not going.
Yeah, now
crazy?
they're sending women to the front lines.
Woo! I know, the women now like, no, I'm not
One of the
going.
congresswomen, what's her name, Duckworth, she lost part of her legs.
Yeah, right. She lost her legs.
Legs in a helicopter crash. Duckworth from Michigan, Minnesota.
Yeah,
Where
Tammy
was she?
Duckworth.
Afghanistan?
Somewhere over there in the Middle East.
Yeah, I think it was Afghanistan.
Wow.
Helicopter crash. She lost both her legs.
No.
Y'all should watch this movie, The Covenant. It is really good. I said that, it's a really good military movie. It's on demand now. It's really good. It's inspiring.
Or the guy that didn't get his benefits and was in the is that the one?
Yeah. That is not inspiring. That is frustrating. Make you want to hurt somebody. The Covenant is a new one.
Okay.
And it's a white guy and an Arab, and the Arab saves his life.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Oh, right. Okay.
Takes him all the way across.
The interpreter.
Yeah, the interpreter takes him all the way around. He said, your job is to translate, blah, 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 blah. That guy said, I'm the interpreter. I love that his personality though. That they have his personality in the movie. The guy from the Middle East, very strong, personality. Like I love it. I really hope he's really was like that. I can't see them playing him like that if he wasn't really like that. He had like a good sense of humor, but yet he was, all about business.
No, you talking about trademarks. They got one that's coming out. The guy that invented Flaming Hot Cheetos,
Stop.
the Latino guy, his story.
Do you like those?
Yeah, they're all right. But he's the guy that came up
They're
with
very
that.
popular though.
Yeah, he came up with that idea, so they're gonna tell his story. And
Wow.
they didn't think that would work at first.
It's just how he kept pushing for it.
Yeah,
It's like people aren't gonna do that. You'd be like
yeah.
licking all off their
That's what
fingers and
he said.
everything. It's gonna be like too hot. And it's gonna be like he's like, nah, they sell it all the time. I bet they have like flaming hot nachos at places, and everything. Like, but they're very popular. I won't touch it. Imagine the sodium content.
But hey,
I'd be so bloated. But y'all be good and don't fly Delta Airlines. No matter what you do, pick another one.
oh, I need to get with
Did you write that email?
They emailed me. I was still mad. I had to calm down. I didn't even look at their email. I bet the email that they did send me is about those 1,500 points for the movie screen not working. Watch. I'm gonna go back and find it.
I need to get with you,
I don't
because
even know. I'm gonna get them, huh?
you were in the meeting last week, and I realized I was supposed to meet with you like on the 31st.
Wow.
I think, yeah. But I didn't think you would do it because you were down in Florida. Because I never got.
Oh, and I wouldn't even.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm so tripping. I was in the airport.
yeah.
And you were on my calendar. Chelsea didn't even notice that. Oh my, that's funny. I'm so glad you remembered. I'll get that. We'll get that straight. This tomorrow's Thursday. Hopefully we'll get to, I'm gonna see what you're like tomorrow because Friday looks crazy. But then maybe we can get together Saturday because I'm working Saturday too. That's
I don't
the
know
only
about.
thing about going away is you come back and you work more. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then when you didn't go away and you worked when you went away. But that's my trademark. That's a trade secret. Only work on the days that you eat. Fast often. Trade secret. They're like, look, so you can fast. Fast on Fridays. JB doesn't eat today, so she doesn't work on Fridays anymore. That would be a problem. You'd be like, I know she gonna eat something. Let me catch her. Do y'all know what FAFO means?
FAFO, no.
So this lady was saying like that this lady had got a tattoo and it was FAFO, and the lady told her look it up. So she looked it up, and it means fuck around and find out.
I like that one.
Right? I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We are too much for her. But yeah, it wasn't the black lady. It wasn't the black lady that put it on, that did the tattoo. But I think she said it's like it's in a pretty obvious place. But ever since she told me that, I was like, wow. I was like, that is so appropriate. With these like exactly. What? FAFO. That's what we should start just saying. What is that? FAFO. 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 They be like, what are you talking about? Just FAFO. Just trust me. FAFO. Leave me alone. That's what I should have told them at Delta Airlines. Rebecca. FAFO. Get my ticket right, girl.
That's why she went in the corner and says, "I'm scared."
FA, if I was faithful in her. But I'm, girl, y'all know. If they ever say I hit somebody, you know it ain't true because I'm not a fighter. You tell them, she's a lover, not a fighter. You got the wrong girl. You can stand by that. You can stand by that.
Okay.
Amen. Y'all be good to each other.
All
And
right.
any questions about this, everybody at home, don't hesitate to reach out. Let's talk about it. Take it seriously. Intellectual property is the future. So take yourself seriously. Take your ideas seriously. I'm here for you. Have a really, really, really good night. Thank you so much to my hosts. Y'all are the best. Getting better all the time. We got Mr.
Thank you,
HOA,
teacher.
Mr. Jefferson. No, you're the teacher. I'm the learner. Every week you like teach me something else about yourself. I didn't even know you were a veteran. Did you, Mr. Jenkins? No, we did not know. You're good. You are the best. Let's keep doing it. Look, FAFO. That's what Reverend Moses said. Well, this, you know what? FAFO. There's more good things to come, y'all. Stay close. Good night, Mr. Jefferson. You are Mr. Homeowners Association. Take care of us. Keep the neighborhood clean. Take care. Have a good night.
Have
I
a
love
good night.
y'all. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye
Good
now.
night. Good night. I'm gonna infringe some copyright now. Just to make them mad. Anything. Love y'all. That's right. Have a good night. JB at jbbryan.com. Good night.